Right, hello everyone, and welcome to this webinar on scaling your business with multi-channel e-commerce. This webinar will cover the main e-commerce channels where we have found that our clients have managed to drive sales. For each channel, I'll give you the pros and cons and indicate the sales potential. Now, I will give you a sales potential in terms of a range of the kind of percentage of sales which we think is a healthy amount that our clients have seen for those channels. I'll try and keep this presentation short to enable us to have plenty of time for questions at the end. So anyway, thank you very much for coming, and thank you also to people who will be listening to this in the recorded version. So first, I'll just tell you a little bit about me and Vendlab. My name is 𝗏𝗏𝗏. I have 15 years of e-commerce experience. I ran my own e-commerce business, which I grew to 7 figures for 15 years. So there's not much in the e-commerce sphere that I haven't seen. Now, taking that experience, and we help companies launch direct-to-consumer e-commerce brands, both in terms of launching new brands and growing existing brands. We see ourselves very much as multi-channel specialists. We have a great focus on marketplaces, but we provide support of a range of e-commerce channels. And we also are great specialists in cross-border trade. And in fact, my previous company was used as a case study by the Department of International Trade in the UK. If you want to get in touch afterwards, I've just left the name of the website for our company, vendlab.com, and also my email is trevor@vendlab.com. So first off, I just thought I'd just give you a little idea of the overview of the e-commerce market. This is the e-commerce market in the UK. This data is provided by the Office of National Statistics, so I think it's about as good as you can get. And as you can see, e-commerce has been growing steadily, and also it's still growing. You can see that enormous spike during COVID, but you can see that it's continuing to grow, and the curve, it doesn't show much chance of leveling off. So there's still everything to play for e-commerce. So if you haven't started selling online, or if you think that you're underperforming, there's still plenty of time to pull your socks up and get involved. So this is an overview of the multi-channel e-commerce opportunities that we have seen success with for our clients. The real thrust of this webinar is saying, look, if you're not considering these different channels, you're leaving money on the table. These are all successful things that all e-commerce business should be looking at. Now, I've divided into 2 areas. I've got marketplaces, and what I mean by marketplaces is something like Amazon, which has the ability to display products and promote products, and it has a checkout all in one place. So examples of that are eBay and Amazon and other marketplaces like Walmart. And then you've got channels which require a website. So for example, SEO, it's a channel, it's a way of driving traffic to a website, and then the customer checks out on the website. And these things can both be done, these 2 different sets can both be done domestically and internationally. So that's the cross-border trade part of it. So first off, we're going to talk about the different marketplaces, and then we're going to talk about the website channels. So Amazon really doesn't require any introduction, but I'm going to introduce it anyway. It is the largest e-commerce platform probably in the world. I don't know if it's bigger than Alibaba or not, but it's absolutely huge. It is probably the single biggest opportunity for retailers, and it continues to go from strength to strength. Sales are still, I think, growing at double digits a year, which is extraordinary for a business which is over 20 years old. We see an opportunity. Our clients sell somewhere between 20 and 40% of their sales on Amazon. Some clients or some businesses only sell on Amazon, so they would do 100% of their sales on Amazon. The pros of Amazon, it's an absolutely massive marketplace. I mean, it's 10 times the size of eBay. It has more than 20 sites around the world. It's an all-in-one platform providing everything you need to sell online. To say, a lot of customers don't actually even use other platforms. It has its own fulfillment service as well, wildly popular FBA, which means that you don't need to have the kind of infrastructure you used to have. You can send products into a Amazon fulfillment center. They will do all the fulfillment for you. They'll do almost all the customer service for you, and all you need to do is just do the marketing and keep your stock topped up. So it's fulfillment service is a very keenly priced. I mean, it's probably cheaper. Certainly for the UK, it's cheaper to send via buy things via FBA than it is via raw mail or another service. So amazing buying power. On the cons, despite Amazon being the thing I probably know most about in the world, I think it's in some ways an awful experience. Amazon treats its sellers very badly. It's an undignified experience. I mean, it's very hard to get through to people. The customer service is poor. It can be quite difficult to use. It's an undignified experience. You also have a lack of control over the system. It's quite rigid, and the rules are quite rigid. And you also cannot contact your customers off Amazon. They get quite upset about that, and you can get your account shut down for that. The fees are, depending on how you look at it, quite high. I mean, there's a standard fee of 15%. That vary a bit, but it's around 15%. And then these days, brands need to spend on advertising on top of that. So it's not unusual to spend 5, 10, 15% on top of that 25%. So probably not your highest margin, probably not your highest margin channel, but the volume's there. So, and it's also a great way of acquiring customers. It's also getting increasingly competitive. I mean, that every single category has hundreds of products. There's more Chinese sellers as well selling on the platform. Overall, I think it's a tremendous place to sell because that's where the customers are, and where the customers are is where you need to be. Now, eBay, I'm a massive fan of eBay. I loved eBay. eBay is what got me into e-commerce in the first place. It is a declining market. I mean, I think eBay's share of the market has been going down steadily, and its sales haven't been going up. It is, though that said, it is still the second largest marketplace certainly in the West. It's I believe it's like still about 10% of e-commerce. We think that there's the opportunity to sell between 5 and 15% of your sales. It enables you to reach customers all over the world. I think they're in more than 20 countries. In the UK, they have their global shipping program, which means you ship it to a hub in the UK and they'll ship it internationally for you, and you don't need to worry about the worrying about duty, etc. I think eBay's a lot easier to use, and it's great for distressed stock. Particularly, you see a lot of companies selling, like Dyson and BMW have their outlet store on eBay. It is a great way of getting incremental sales. Again, with eBay, you have a lack of control, and you can't. It's a closed system. There's only so much functionality. You can't extend it. You don't own the customer. You can't email them directly. And also the fees. Again, fees will work out around kind of 10, 11, 12% as a seller, and then you normally have to pay a little bit of buy some advertising on top of that, because then they have these promoted listings. Generally tends to be cheaper, whereas on Amazon you're paying 20, 25%. On eBay you're probably paying about 15%. So it is cheaper. So it wouldn't be the first thing I'd sell on, but I think it's a great way. If you're already got stock and you're looking to sell on new channels, you will get incremental sales from eBay without that much incremental work. There are a number of other marketplaces which are worth looking at, and we think that these other marketplaces again can do somewhere between 5 and 15% of sales. From experience, you try a lot of channels and some of them don't work. Now, the one that's so my picture's in front of it. Let me just get rid of that. There's a number of UK marketplaces which OnBuy is a competitor to Amazon. Fairly low but steady sales. Miracle is what Miracle does is it enables big sites like, for example, Decathlon and Carrefour in France and Sephora to run a marketplace on their large retail site. So if you go on Decathlon and you buy something from a third-party seller, it is run by Miracle, and they've got maybe even hundreds of different sites they work with. DIY, as in B&Q, is another one. So if you're in a particular niche which has a Miracle marketplace, then it can be great. Etsy is good if you sell craft items, or if you sell vintage items or craft supplies. or you have an item which is handmade. Definitely good for certain things. I mean, I was talking to a company today which sends envelopes, and this are little kind of see-through envelopes, and that's the kind of thing you could sell on Etsy. There's also international marketplaces. Amazon and eBay are not big in every country. I mean, I'm going to give you some examples now. Bol.com is the biggest marketplace in the Netherlands, much bigger than Amazon in the Netherlands, and a great marketplace, really nice people to work with. Cdiscount is a major force in e-commerce in France, and Walmart is up and coming in the States. Frugo is actually a UK-based marketplace, and what that does is it takes a feed from your website and then effectively publishes that on Google Shopping. And so what that enables you to have effectively 2 listings on Google Shopping for the same website. So that we found Frugo generated, when I ran my e-commerce business, it generated about 10% of our sales. So it was very, it was worth having. So the pros of selling on other marketplaces is you can reach new customers, and some of these marketplaces and some of the countries have much lower competition. So don't get into the mindset of thinking that everywhere is like the UK. The UK is very competitive. Other countries are less competitive. On the downside, these marketplaces have fees, unfortunately, and they tend to be similar to the Amazon kind of eBay fees. The integrations can be quite difficult, and some of them don't work in a way. Some of them work in quite a strange way. Took me a very long time to get my head around how Allegro works. I'm still not sure I've really worked it out. Customer service and delivery for the international marketplaces can also be quite tough, but we're going to talk about that in a few slides' time. Right, let's talk about selling on a website. Now, some of you may be thinking, why on earth am I showing you a website as an opportunity? Well, it's becoming increasingly common for merchants not to have their own website. They just think we just need Amazon. And there's costs involved with running a website. I mean, if you have Shopify, you have to pay. There's the effort of creating a Shopify website and running it, and then there's the marketing costs involved in driving people to it. So people find that just selling on Amazon and that enormous market's enough for them. Now, I think that's a mistake, because you are by setting your own website, you own the customer, so you get their details, you can market them again. It's a lot cheaper to sell to an existing company and acquire a new customer. It's important not to have all your eggs in one basket. The Amazon can and does, because I've seen it happen, shut down accounts for no particular reason. It's pretty scary when that happens, and if that's all your business, then you could be a bit screwed. For example, if Amazon thinks that there's someone makes some sort of trade marketing against you, Amazon will just shut you down. And if that's your only source of revenue, then it's game over. Also, by selling on a website, you can access other sales channels that you need a website for. So we're now going to go through those channels, but I mean, they're important ones like Google Shopping and affiliate marketing and email marketing. You own the customer, you're in full control of everything. Right, the first one I'm going to mention is search engine optimization, or SEO. This has really been around since the beginning of the internet. People's performance on SEO varies a lot. I mean, I think that good performance is somewhere between 10 and 30% of sales. To a certain extent, how much you pay for your external advertising will determine what percentage of natural search traffic you get. So for those of you that don't know, the natural search for traffic is the so-called free or organic results that appear under the paid search. And Google generates those results based on their relevancy to the query. They're highly trusted by customers. It's a high traffic potential for those for these searches. And any traffic you get that you generate via your search engine optimization activities will be a long-term play. It'll be a gift that keeps on giving. With things that you pay, so for example, with like an affiliate scheme, or particularly with paid search, if you stop paying, you stop getting traffic. Whereas with SEO, the traffic will keep coming, even if you stop paying your agency or stop doing any SEO work. So they're the big upsides. On the downsides, SEO is time-consuming and uncertain. You're doing things and hoping that they are the kind of thing that Google will think will make your site relevant to important queries important to your website. So it's time-consuming to do the work. It's slow to get traction. It's certainly not an overnight thing. Increasingly competitive. I mean, everyone's online these days trying to get good position for the best keywords. And if you look at a search results page, more and more of the page is taken up by ads, and less by natural search. So it's less successful as a sales channel than it used to be. But I mean, it's even if you don't pay, to get someone to do SEO on your site, then there's certain things you can do to optimize your traffic, to set it up to free things which don't take long, which will improve your traffic. So, for example, setting yourself up with a Google Search Console and writing comprehensive keyword-rich titles and descriptions and having alt tags. If you've got a Shopify website, you can get an SEO plugin which will enable you, which will take you through the process. So you don't need to necessarily spend that much on it, and even a little bit of traffic, any free traffic is valuable you can get. So it's worth spending a bit of time on it. Google Search is the paid ads which appear at the top of the page. They come in various different formats. You can see here, these are in this image I've got here, these are the so-called shopping ads, which are generated by a feed from your website into Google Merchant Center, which then creates the ads in Google Ads. The Google shopping ads are very much the best ads for people selling physical products. Underneath, you can see some text ads. Now, I think that Google search ads are really the biggest opportunity for retailers wanting to drive traffic to their website, because they're easy to set up. I mean, these days, ads are more and more automated, and you don't, in the past, you used to have to find keyword targets, and it was only the kind of text ad format. Now, with new formats like Performance Max, it's almost entirely automated. So it's less about, these days, particularly with the shopping ads, it's less about spending, being really good at marketing, and it's more about telling Google, the kind of, what you're willing to pay for a customer. So you would set like a ROAS target. So ROAS would be return on advertising spend. So if your ROAS was 1,000%, that means that you'd spend 10% of the value of your sale on the advertising. And what that means is that you would set a target for Google. You would then concentrate on your offer, and the quality of your website, the quality of your product data, which would feed into Google, and how much you're willing to spend on a customer. And so it's less about being brilliant at Google Ads, and it's more about about creating a compelling offer for your customers. So Google Search has got massive traffic potential. It's a great way of reaching new customers. You can do international. You could do it not only in the UK, but you can do it internationally. It's very, very similar. It's intent driven as well. I mean, particularly the shopping ads. If someone clicks on shopping ads, they're looking to buy something, and the conversion rate will be very good. On the cons, it's expensive. I mean, the pay-per-clicks are getting more and more expensive. I mean, I was looking to buy some ads for our consulting business, and it was £10 a click or £20 a click. I mean, it's extraordinary. It's a money printing machine for Google. You notice I've been talking about Google search and natural search on Google. That's because Bing is like 5% the size of Google. It's just so much smaller. It's almost not worth worrying about. So when I talk about paid search and SEO, I'm really talking about Google. Email marketing. If you're not collecting emails, you really should start doing it immediately. It's much cheaper to acquire a new customer than it is so much cheaper to sell to an existing company than it is to acquire a new customer. And we find that the email marketing will account for somewhere between 10 and 20% of sales. It's highly cost effective. So you just have the cost of the software, which the software will enable you to have the pop-up box on your website to collect emails, and then you can both do You can do flows, which are the automatic emails based on customer behavior. So, someone buys something, you might put them into a welcome flow, which then, takes them through and, tries to get them to do a second order, or something like an abandoned cart email flow, where someone leaves something in the cart and you email them. And these are ways of enticing customers back to the site. You also should be doing broadcast emails. So that's, like a weekly newsletter or something like that. I've talked to many email marketing professionals, and they say you almost can't send too many emails. So it's a very cost-effective way of driving people back to your website, getting that second sale without having to pay more fees. So something like Amazon, you're paying fees every time you make a sale. On the website, you can drive customers back to the website using email marketing and get them to make that second purchase and not have to pay that extra marketing fee each time. There's not many, downsides with email marketing, other than you have to spend the time doing it and you have to maintain the list. It can be quite slow to get started. I mean, a lot of people would have like a box with get 10% off. You will get more people signing up if you start offering discounts for signing up, but then they'll just do it just to get the money off. I know I do. So it'll take time to build up a list, but that list will then be a gift that keeps on giving. Affiliate marketing, I think, is an important way of getting sales. Affiliate marketing is where you pay a commission to sites that drive traffic to your site. So, say for example, you have what you would do is you join an affiliate network, and that would manage all the tracking and all the payments. And they would have a lot of publishers on their books, and those publishers you would publish an offer which says, if someone drives a sale on my website, I'm willing to give 5-10%. So say like a blogger or someone would write a blog about one of your products, and they would link to your website. Someone clicks on that link, they get to your website, and then they would get a commission of what have you set, 5-10% or whatever. So typically we find that people who set up affiliate marketing schemes get somewhere around 10% of their sales from them. It's very cost effective. I mean, it tends to be commission based. So you would pay a small amount of money perhaps to the affiliate network. Examples of those include WebGains and Awin, and then whatever you pay to the publisher. So it's commission based, so it's low risk. The cons would be you can end up giving discounts to savvy customers. So a lot of traffic from affiliate sites will come from cashback sites. So for example, something like Top Cashback. I know that I will always go to the Top Cashback and get the discount. But I mean, some people, I did an analysis of it once, and I found that a lot of the people were people that were new customers that hadn't bought from us previously, and so obviously there's a certain amount of giving money to people who had bought it anyway, but you are acquiring new customers as well at usually quite a good rate. So again, a great way of getting incremental sales, and you're reaching a broad, you're advertising your business across the broader internet. Social media, is massive. All your customers will be in one social media platform or another, so it's a great way of acquiring customers. The downside of it is that it's low intent. I mean, the conversion rate on social media traffic is low. If you run ads on social media, I found that the return on investment of those ads is pretty low. So if you're a company which only sells one-off products, it's probably not worth it. If you're the kind of company that has a lot of repeat business and it's worth spending more to acquire a customer, then I think it's a really good thing to do. So I found that on social media, you're getting a return of say 3. So every pound you put in, you get £3 worth of sales. Whereas on Google Ads, it's more like 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's a lot more expensive to sell through social media. But yes, I mean, I think it's also, but it is, I think all businesses should have a presence on social media, even just to keep that ticking over, because these days customers will go to your Facebook page and contact you via the Facebook page and go look at you first before you buy things. And so I think that from that point of view, it's just worth having a live presence on these websites. But I found also that Pinterest is you can put a feed into Pinterest and it will drive a reasonable amount of traffic to your site. Traffic doesn't really convert, but you will get it will generate free traffic. Right. So finally, I think this is the last kind of channel. It's really kind of like all these channels I've spoken about. You can do in the UK and you can do internationally, and they all have an international offer. So Google Shopping, you can run it in the UK and internationally. It works very similarly. Amazon has sites in the UK, US, Canada, Mexico, France, Italy, Germany, Spain, Netherlands, Belgium, Poland, Sweden, Turkey, Japan, Australia. The list goes on. They're the kind of like international marketplaces, but then you also have kind of local ones that are just much bigger. So if you want to sell into New Zealand, TradeMe is the site to go for. Or if you want to sell into Japan, I think Rakuten is the same size as Amazon in Japan. And what I haven't mentioned here also is China. I mean, Tmall is the thing in China. Very hard to get selling on Tmall, but I mean, Tmall is absolutely massive. And there's pros and cons of selling internationally. The pros is it's just a big world out there. You'll reach far more customers. As I say, competition can be lower, but it is complicated. And you've got all kinds of issues. Like I was talking to someone about US sales tax yesterday. You need to make sure you're registered for all the taxes. You need to be able to do multi-language customer service. From experience, Google Translate is remarkably good at that. I know you very occasionally had issues. Delivery internationally is also a problem. I mean, you can ship from your home country, and that may well work quite well, but it's just not as good. And particularly after Brexit. Good old Brexit, it just meant that everything just took far longer to deliver. And so probably the thing to do is to try and use something like a Amazon FBA, because Amazon has programs to enable you to keep stock internationally. In Europe, there's something called Pan-European FBA, where you can have the stock in a single European location, and it will deliver primarily throughout the whole of Europe. So that's a really good deal. We found that customers who sell internationally, it can be 50% of their sales before too long. So it's a massive opportunity. So you can see what I come back to again and again really is you've got a catalog of products, and by selling multi-channel, you find more customers for those products by putting them in more places. I mean, yes, I mean, some people are loyal to Amazon, some people are loyal to eBay, some people will go on Google. Amazon is the site where people go to first when they're looking to search for things, but some people will go to Google search and some people go to eBay first. I mean, I look at all of them. I typically go to eBay first and then Amazon, and then I do a web search. So by getting it out there, you are opening up your products to a much wider audience. Finally, I'm just going to say a few words about managing your multi-channel sales. Multi-channel is more complicated. You are opening up. You need to be more organized. You need to make sure that to make your life easy, you really want to have a centralized system that manages all of this. Now, there's loads and loads of these systems available. The one that we've used a lot is Linnworks, but there's also 𝑣𝒂 is owned by Amazon. And that's actually free. The functionality is not as great as Linnworks. Shopify is not only just a website, but it's also an e-commerce platform. You can install apps like Shopify Marketplace Connect, and there's like one for international sales called Shopify Translate or something, and also Brightpearl. These are all platforms that can be used to manage your stock in a single location and push that stock and product listings and product details out to the channels, and then pull in the orders into a single place where they can be fulfilled, where the orders can be managed centrally. Now, what some people do is they list stock on each individual channel and then just manage them all individually, which is, I mean, I don't know, just my hair falls out even more just thinking about it. It's a bit of a disaster. The tolerances on things like Amazon are quite low. I mean, the order defect rate on Amazon is, if you go above 1%, then you're in trouble. And so you've got to have a really good system to manage it. So you're not already doing it, think about how you're going to manage your multi-channel sales. Great, that's it. Thank you very much for listening. I'm now available for questions. If people want to put those on LinkedIn, I think. Let's go and I'll do my best to answer them. Any questions? Oh, thank you, Tom. What is the best to start with, Amazon or a website? Oh, that's a really interesting question. I don't know. I'd probably say a website because you can. It takes less time to get it going. With Amazon, you need to list your products, and then you need to get reviews, and you need to spend the Amazon, the 15% on Amazon, and then the whatever you spend on ads. And I think that so you'll end up spending a lot more of your the value of your sale than you would on your website. I mean, you probably on Google or when you get a website, it opens up far more channels, and you can get free traffic from SEO and free traffic from email. Whereas on Amazon, you're just paying for everything. So I would say website. Does deleting impact your so the question here is, does deleting people from your email list impact your send rate, open rate? Well, you should be cleaning up your email list, because if you're sending to people who are it's bouncing or have unsubscribed, then that'll affect your deliverability. So it will positively removing people who are not engaging with your email list will probably be cheaper because you'll be paying less money to your email provider, and B, that they will, by cleaning it up, you'll get better performance, and by getting better performance, the mailbox providers like Gmail, etc., will deliver your emails more consistently into the inbox. So I think yes is the answer to your question. You can. I've done a course on Gmail, on Google, on email and marketing and MailChimp. It's on Udemy. Okay, so any more questions? Well, it's been a pleasure doing this. Thank you all for listening. And I'll put a recording, I'll publish a recording of this. We're going to be doing webinars monthly from now on. So look forward to the next one at the end of September. Thanks and goodbye.